one of the things people think is you need to heal first before you can do it again. And, life's never that neat. But so I love watching how your life is kind of unfolded, how you've been healing in the journey. That's how I kind of see it. You've been taking what you're learning and then actively applying it to yourself, but also applying it as information and increasing awareness and really advocating for health and wellness. So I love that about that. And I agree. I think that, it's interesting. There's all sorts of victims, and I think we're going to have a lot of fun talking about that. Your story is a little different in mine. In fact, that you kind of owned codependency a bit and talk about it. Those who've been listening to me know that I hate that word and I don't own it. But I have to say that I learned a lot of helplessness, not like learned helplessness that I can't do things for myself or I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing right now, but compliance. I'm overly compliant and easygoing. And yeah, you're right. I had to walk out of that relationship and say, being mute is not a good thing. It's not conflict helpful. It's conflict avoidant.
About fully healed before being in a relationship. I talk about this all the time, and I also get really mean hate comments about it too. I personally did a ton of healing. I was working with 2 different therapists. I was working with a coach. I was doing all of these books. I was reading all of these things while I was single in an attempt to heal myself fully before getting in a romantic relationship. I got into the romantic relationship and actually faced some of the triggers that it wasn't possible for me to face while I was single. It just was the case. And a story I talk about a lot is I went with my now husband. We were on a date and he got a flat tire and he pulled this truck in the parking lot. And I felt myself tense up and feel anxious because I thought he was going to yell or scream at me. That's what I was expecting because that's what had been my normal in previous relationships. And I mean, he was like, just get in the truck. It's raining. It's cold. I'll deal with the tire. Well, I didn't want to do that. I just wanted to stand and watch and I guess be there in case he needed me. But the whole time that's what I was expecting because that had been my normal. And at the end of that, when he was back in the truck and the tire was fixed and all that kind of stuff, I actually thanked him for not yelling at me because, yeah. And at the time he was like, why would I yell at you? But being with an abusive partner who would lash out at me whenever something was inconvenient, uncomfortable, frustrating to him, it was always somehow my fault. And so I took that was a way that my codependency definitely manifested is I really tried to make his life gravy and everything fine and everything nice and rosy because I was trying to avoid abuse and protect myself.
Yeah.
But in this relationship that I'm in now, I really had to deal with that trigger and learn new experiences and have that not be my normal anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. My first attention to this, and we can talk about this more, but I did equine therapy. I had like one brief experience at a retreat, and we were supposed to clean a horse's hoof. That was the job. And my horse is being uncooperative. Now, remember, I don't know if you know this, but I grew up on a dairy farm. I grew up around large animals. Large animals do not intimidate me. I know how to handle them. I've been around, dealt with it for years. So I was feeling all confident, went in there sort of with a swagger, and the horse wouldn't want to lift it. Now, I'd never cleaned a horse's hooves before. That was new, but it wouldn't lift its hoof for me. And I started like patting it and talking to it, trying to calm it down or whatever. And I did get the task done. I was feeling so proud of myself and go back and I talked to the therapist. He said, why did you reward the horse bad behavior with comfort? He said, you don't reward bad behavior with kindness. I felt, I had heard you had to really hold it together for these because they're so powerful. Oh my, I felt undone. Just because it's, by the way, it's said publicly in front of other people. I know, but
that's not shaming at all.
No, I know, not at all. But that was my first look into what I have. Now, I hate to say, and this is something maybe we can even work on this year. I'm not for sure what else to do. How do you get an uncooperative animal that weighs many, many times you to behave? I don't really still know, but it was an eye-opening experience for me. Really eye-opening. Yeah.